Hello everybody, welcome to this playthrough for Pro Division with the tournament win here for the Phantom Mansion tournament in Golf Clash the game. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You can do that for free by clicking at the button in the bottom right corner. Also, go to golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash related content completely for free. Last but not least, if you do want to invest and become a better player in Golf Clash, you go to patreon.com/golfclashtommy, link directly in the description down below. Can we get this video to 500 thumbs up? That would be amazing, and I would be very thankful for that. Follow the info box on the right hand side to follow my adjustment through the whole video, and also you have the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, what ball and club type I do suggest you to use. Have in mind you don't have to follow what I do suggest, but there's always a plan behind it. This is a tough tournament based on the fact that it's new holes. It often takes a little bit longer time to dial in, but I will provide you with several drops, and also the rest of them will be very close, and that should help you immensely in getting an advantage over your opponent. Thank you so much for watching, and let's go to hole number 1. For hole number 1, we're going to start by playing with a driver with at least 4.5 bar topspin. The extra mile here is perfect for a shot like this. 3 bars of left spin, and we do want to aim at the left side of the rough. You can see that I am a little bit too much to the right, so we need to move our target a little bit more left, so we are having the top of the ball guideline pointing towards the left side of the rough. Adjustment is going to be maximum distance plus 15, and when I do play with an extra mile level 7 or below, I will push up 2 rings after adjustment. If I do play with an extra mile level 8, I will push up 1 ring after adjustment and keep the 4.5 bar topspin. And the reason I do want us to keep 4.5 bar topspin and don't use more is because of this. Now you can see, first and foremost, the bad part with not aiming enough to the left, because this fairway slopes massively to the right. So you really need to make sure you aim enough to the left. And if I would be having more than 4.5 bar topspin on that drive, I would 100% been going into the rough. Second shot, you will see a little mess up here from myself. We are in between clubs. In the end, I should be choosing to play with a short iron towards the pin, because that is what I feel the most comfortable with here. And the adjustment with the short iron should be minimum distance plus 15 here for the approach. Those of you feel more comfortable with a wedge, you play with a wedge, but then you need to make this shot a lot better than what I'm doing here. I'm massively under adjusted here. I don't think I'm using any elevation whatsoever here, and miss to the right side. Obviously, in a situation like this, when we either have a short iron or a wedge, this is a must drop in my opinion. So I would pick the short iron. I wanted to show you that it is possible to play with a wedge as well, but once again, you need to estimate the adjustment a little bit better. 15% elevation for the second shot. For hole number 2, ladies and gentlemen, we will start in complete minimum distance. And here I won't say that it will be not an advantage, but it will be more helpful if you play with the Grizzly or the Saturn to make sure you find that red minimum distance line. 1.2 backspin, 2 bars of side spin to the right, and we're looking to have the ball guideline just right side of the pin. Adjustment in this video is minimum distance with a 15% over adjustment, but I would like you to play with minimum distance plus 20. That will give you an additional 0.2 to your adjustment. And let's take a look how this one will miss. First, we hit perfect. You see we are nowhere near the rough. We can take a great right and a great left, and the ball rolls with perfect speed, but to the left side of the pin, approximately with a miss of 0.2 decimal. So we would like to play minimum distance plus 20 and apply the same type of method, but using the minimum distance line, and use 1.2 backspin, 2 bars of side spin to the right. I would like you to play with a kingmaker, so you do have a wind that is below 6 miles per hour if best, because that will prevent you from adjusting down into the bunker. But if you do have a very low amount of wind with a kingmaker, like a 4.5, you can change to a Titan to save Hole number 3 is a very interesting par 5 in my opinion. Here we use the driver that do have the most power. Topspin is not that necessary here in my opinion, but power is. So we want to use 4.5 bar topspin and as much side spin to the left possible. Once we have added that, we will be stretching out to just make sure that we do have the ball guide line pointing straight down the middle there. Half of the blue ring inside the rough if you play with an extra mile level 7 or a level 8. Obviously that will be a difference if you play with a different club with a different accuracy. Maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment, and then we're gonna push up to max and we go with 3/4 of the ball outside the adjustment ring to the left. Max over power, we have room to hit great left and great right and obviously perfect, and we do want to get this ball up to around 390 yards. 390 yards, and then we do go with a rough bump to the pin. Why do I want us to go for a rough bump and not just bounce towards the pin? It's because the rough bump will bring more albatrosses than bouncing towards the pin, and that is because we take away the effect the ball has after the first bounce, or like the effect the wind has on the ball after our first bounce. Here I start with the inner ring to be just by the edge of the rough. I'm using 4 bars of topspin, leaving the ball guide line just by the pin. Adjustment, medium distance, no elevation, and here you can see in the end that I push up half a ring after my adjustment. And you will notice here with our push up that we push up half a ring is gonna make it enough at least to get the ball to bounce on the rough. But we bounce pretty low into the rough there, so, and we also go short in line. So we can do 2 ways here. Either we add more topspin to make sure that we can keep the half a ring push up, or we need to push up around 3/4 of the of the yellow ring. I would recommend to go with more topspin instead. Let the ball guide line go through the hole, so use around 4.5 bar topspin to make sure you don't go short with your with it, because going short in line is in my opinion one of the worst things to do, because that means you have the direction right but the obviously for hole number 4, I'm gonna give you another very simple way of putting your target in correct place. Blue ring by the bunker at the bottom, and then blue ring by the top right of the bunker, and then we play with just a little bit less than 4 bars of backspin, so 3.9 backspin, and then we're looking to add 0.2 left spin. The most important part though is that you keep the blue rings by the bunker with the ball guide line going to the hole but short of the hole, approximately 1 green square. Adjustment is going to, in this video, be maximum distance with a 30% over adjustment. But we would like to play with more adjust here, and we need a maximum distance plus 35. That will help us to get this ball in the way that we want, and we will then get that ball to drop, it is what I feel. So you can see here we miss with approximately 2 to 3 decimals. And that is what we do get extra with a maximum distance plus 35. So maximum distance plus 35 will help you get this ball in the hole. For hole number 5, it's time to go with a power 5 ball, and the reason we do want to do that is to make sure that we get over the second piece of rough, leaving ourselves with a short iron towards the pin. Here I play with 4 bars of top spin, 2 bars of side spin to the left, and then we're going to adjust for a maximum distance with no elevation. Once that is done, we're gonna push up to max. Have in mind here that you will notice that 4 bars of top spin is too much for this type of wind. So I would recommend the following: 3 bars of topspin when we do have a wind that is 6 to 7 miles per hour. Above 7 miles per hour, I would recommend to play with 2.5 bar topspin instead, because now I'm just very unlucky and roll into the rough. Sure, from the rough there you have no reason to be alarmed in terms of will you reach the green or not. You will reach the green and you will still have an opportunity, but obviously we don't want to play from the rough trying to get the eagle. We do want to be on the fairway. So if you do make the drive correct, then we're gonna be in a position like this. Short iron towards the pin is almost a straight tailwind here, and here I'm going to use the beginning of the green as my starting point. 1 bar of backspin ball guideline to be a little bit short of hole, and have in mind that this is a thorn level 8. So what do you do with a thorn level 7 or below? That is to focus on the final bounce and leave it short by pin, otherwise you will come in too hot. Medium distance with a minus 10% elevation. So here you can see we're playing slightly uphill, and then the wind will not affect the ball as much as it normally does. Perfect ball. And we're gonna see the ball bounce on the fairway, on the green nicely, getting it right at pin for a lovely eagle. And the reason it says birdie is because I took the time to shift back and then just go with a regular shot towards the pin. So the key here is the drive, and make sure to follow the topspin adjustment that I just explained to you. So 67 miles per hour, 3 bars of topspin, 7 miles per hour or more, you go in that case with 2.5 bar topspin with your drive. Then you will find yourself with short iron towards the pin every single time. And this is, in my opinion, a very good chance for a drop. For hole number 6, we're gonna go full blast on the drive once again. Once again, a tough hole of the Phantom Mansion. 4.5 bar topspin, and I'm using 2 bars of side spin to the right. Why do I play with a Kingmaker when I can play with other type of ball and get more wind? That is because we do want to benefit from the lower wind for the second shot. Adjustment, maximum distance plus 10, then we push up to max. Half a ball of curl outside the adjustment ring to the right, and try to hit perfect. In the end, if you do have a driver that do have power that is minimum 230 yards combined with more topspin than 4.5 bar topspin, use that one. You do want to have the most power and topspin possible. I would, however, though, recommend to not use more than 8 bars of topspin, but that would only apply for other players that have like an Apocalypse level 8. Second shot, we're gonna play with our sniper, and here there is a rough bump opportunity, but we do need more topspin than we do need a lot of topspin on that shot, and will only be applied with a sniper level 10 and also to a stretch level 9. But then the bunker comes in place, that's just a mess. So I decide to play on the fairway. Max side spin to the left, and also applying backspin so the ball guideline go just short of pin, but pointing towards the hole. Medium distance with a 30% over adjustment is what I want you to apply, and then we're going to take our shot. When it comes to deciding what type of club distance you will adjust for, min, mid or max, that all depends on the drive. So you're going to have to every time check in terms of what club distance you're in. Go to max, go to min, and then decide what adjustment you're gonna have, and that is going to make this hole very difficult. Now we get it to drop though, for as it chose an eagle, but that's once again because I timed out to try some different spot. Obviously that is supposed to be an albatross instead. In the end though, it's nice to get a drop, but once again it's not a very it's not an easy one, this one. We're playing with a 30% over adjustment because we're playing so much downhill, but if we can get this one once or twice or even 3 times in the tournament, I will be super pleased. For hole number 7, the final of the par 3s, I will give you 2 types of rough bump. One that is a bit aggressive, and yeah, I would not recommend to go with this one if you feel that you have a problem with centering your ball when it's time to take your shot. Here, 3.5 bar backspin. We have the the bottom of the inner ring by the bunker. Ball guideline pointing to the hole, but short of the hole. Adjustment should be with a slight 11:59 pull angle, and we adjust maximum distance with a 25% over adjustment. Here I would strongly recommend to either go with just a tiny little bit of underpower, or to pull back just a 0.2 of a ring. And the reason I want you to do that is it's because to prevent ourselves to miss the rough. You can see how close we bounce in that rough to the edge of it, and we don't want to miss it. And that's why I want us to add a little bit of underpower, which would be what I would do, but just a tiny little bit. And or you do go with a situation where you go with with a slight pullback, but on the power it's going to be easier to control. If we do have a sniper level 7 or below, or we just don't feel comfortable going with that type of rough bump, we can use the rough on the right side of the bunker instead. It does, however, though, require a side spin 3 ball, and it is a bit tricky one, and the reason for that is it is the tailwind, and I'm gonna talk you through it. First, we're gonna look around a little bit with our adjustment here, and we see that we will be going with the ball guideline short of pin, and we will be using all the side spin to make sure that we do make it as easy as possible. So 2.2 backspin, 3 bars of left spin. Look at the yellow ring to be just perfectly centered by left side of the yellow ring, just by the bunker, right side by the rough. Adjustment is maximum distance plus 25 is what I'm doing here as well, and then I will be taking my shot. Perfect ball. Now you will see this ball miss to the right, but we clip the rough in a more nice way, in my opinion. First and foremost, here we do need to use an 1159 pull angle also. And in this case, when it comes to tailwind, it would benefit us more to aim just left side of the pin instead. That is because when the tailwind comes and we bounce the rough, the second bounce from the rough out will be longer. It will be a little bit longer, and the side spin won't bite until it's too late. And that's why I miss it so much to the right. So keep the 1159 here as we do in the first example, and also make sure to aim just left side of the cup, and then you will have a good chance there as well. So 2 options for hole number 7. For hole number 8, we're going to play on the right hand side, and here you can play with a Titan ball, in my opinion, instead of a Kingmaker. Just save the Kingmaker, play with them enough here in this tournament. The rock is a good club for this shot, but if you do have the rock in a lower level than level 7, I would recommend you to play with an extra mile, or with an apocalypse, or with a Thor's hammer instead. But now, having the rock level 7, we use all its top spin, which is 4 bars, 2 bars of side spin to the left, leaving the second bounce approximately 2 rings above the rough. Adjustment is going to be maximum distance with a 25% over adjustment here. If we adjust into overpower, we need to apply overpower, and in this case, very little. The overpower all depends on what type of wind strength we are going to have. So sometimes we will not use any overpower, sometimes you will. If you play with the rock level 8 or level 9, you will most likely not be using any overpower whatsoever. But have in mind, if you don't have the rock as a club, make sure to, or like the rock in level 7 or better, make sure to use another club so you at least keep the power. Because the plan is to transport the ball over to the other fairway in a nice way. Second shot is going to be played with the Grizzly. And here I'm looking to use 2 bars of right spin. And look at the ball guideline. We're gonna have the ball guideline approximately 1 green square through the hole, and that is with 1 bar of backspin. But to have that said, the backspin will vary depending on the drive distance. Adjustment, I put medium distance plus 30 in the adjustment box, but I will adjust it a little bit more. I will go in between medium and maximum distance with a 30% over adjustment, which in this case is 8 rings for 6 miles per hour. And for those using slider, that is 72% on the slider with the Grizzly level 7. And the benefit from playing with the Grizzly is to have the ball guideline. We bounce into the rough, we roll right at pin for a lovely eagle here on hole number 8. This is a tough shot, but I do believe that using the rough bump will definitely be an advantage for us, as bouncing on the green directly will be very difficult. So Grizzly, or whatever long iron that gives you a good ball guideline, make sure to always check the club distance, because the drive could be in a different distance, and especially because we don't want to miss the rough. But in the end though, lovely little eagle here on hole number 8. For hole number 9, I will show you 2 options. One where we play with an aggressive drive, but we'll then have a shorter shot towards the pin for the second shot, and one where we go on the left and then have a wood club shot as well from distance, but we will have a much easier drive. 4.5 bar top spin, 2 bar side spin to the right. Here I'm stretching out to see the bullseye to be centered onto the fairway pad there. Once we are done with our adjustment here. We're going to adjust maximum distance plus 10. We push up to max, and then we will apply max overpower. Here you could most definitely play with a power 4 or power 5 ball to make it a little bit easier, but once again I do believe we benefit from reducing the wind for the second shot. So I'm trying to think one step ahead all the time to give us, you know, maybe a little bit tougher drive, but then be rewarded with a bit easier second shot. Second shot, here you can play with the sniper or the horizon. I would recommend to play with the wood club that gives you at least 5 bars of topspin, which should be a sniper level 9, or it should be the horizon in basically whatever level. I want to go for the rough bump, and you may be wondering why. The reason I want to go for a rough bump is because you can see that once we hit the ground, the ball starts to roll basically directly, and that is so good for us, as if we would be having a second bounce and a third bounce, then that ball will be affected more by the wind than it will be with a rough bump like this. So I play the rough bump, medium distance, a 10% over adjustment here, and then perfect. And to be completely clear, I play it in between minimum and medium distance when I play on the right side like I did here. So this adjustment was in between minimum and medium distance with a 10% over adjustment. So a nice, lovely albatross there to end up on hole number 9. And once again, I did time out to find some different spots and such, and that's why it shows an eagle. In the end though, we are going to take a look at how it looks from the left side. So we go in directly, and this time we play with the big topper, and here you will see me adding max topspin, 1 bar of left spin, and I'm looking to back up with my big topper here to apply a distance with power that will then apply for lower level big toppers and not just for big topper level 5+. Red ring by the rough line, adjust max plus 10, and then you will see that I will be applying curl, and the curl will be 3/4 of the ball outside the adjustment ring to the left. Will I be using any overpower? No, I will not. So that is why this drive is easier than we go in the center. But the tough part with this drive is obviously the curl. And also, we don't really know if we are able to get a glitch roll or something like that and we'll roll into the rough. However though, the drive has worked well the times that I've played it. Second shot, we're looking to play a rough bump again. And here I do feel that the horizon is an advantage compared to the sniper, and the reason for that is the more power on the club. So, but if you do have the sniper level 9+, I would still go with the sniper level 9+ and still gamble a little bit that I will still reach for the second shot. Now I'm applying spin to pin, and have in mind that we once again need to have a decent amount of top spin, and I want the ball guideline to be to the pin, not through the hole, just to the pin. And when we play from the left hand side, to prevent us from aiming as closer to the bunker on the left, I add side spin to the left instead of the right side spin that we use when we play from the right. And once again, just to take the precautions that I do feel is needed, so we are not going to go into the bunker if we do hit a great left. So, a lot of things to think about on hole number 9, and I want to show you the 2 different ways here. I do believe that no matter what though, it's going to be difficult to get these ones to drop all the time, as the drive distance will be a bit inconsistent. But sniper level 9+ should be your main wood club, otherwise you go with the horizon, and it's time to end up with an albatross. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough with the tournament win for Pro Division in the Phantom Mansion tournament here in Golf Clash the game. Video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and make sure you hit the thumbs up button before you go, and also that you get your ultimate tournament guides on patreon.com/golfclashtommy, link directly in the description down below. Once again, thank you for watching and good luck in the Golf Clash game.